King Edward and Castle were miserable. They have gone on strike earlier that month due to the lack of a station pilot at Truro, but in response, the yard manager simply transferred 3 other engines to stand in their place until they could afford a new pilot. It was only now that the yard manager finally came up to them.
"I hope you are sorry," he said, "and that you understand our network is not solely dependent on the both of you. However, we did find another engine that will be the new station pilot for Truro, but only if you two rejoin the workforce and promise to shunt your own trains from now on."
Yes, sir. The two beamed. Alright, well there's work to be done, so hop to it. The yard manager then told Trojan, Collett, and George that they needed to go work at Truro. They were quick to begin shunting, although they did so very roughly. Hurry, hurry, Trojan would call, bumping into trucks hard and pulling even harder, nearly breaking the coupling several times. Eventually, he was called to pull some empties to Perrinwell, and when he came back, he had to wait at the junction for the points to be set. But his driver had forgotten to whistle to the signalman, and thus, the signalman had no idea he was there. Trojan waited and waited. The points were still against him, so he couldn't move. Then, he looked along the main line. He whistled in horror, for rushing straight towards him was Castle with the mainline passenger train.
"Get out of my way!"
Castle groaned. Trojan's driver jumped out of the cab, assuming the worst. Castle had finally stopped with Trojan's buffers a few inches from zone, but Trojan had begun to move. His driver had put him in full reverse before jumping out, and without his driver, Trojan was unable to stop as he flew backwards down the main line.
"Ah, crap! Run away!"
he cried. The signalman saw the trouble and notified the next station of the runway before stopping all trains in the area. Trojan continued to fly down the main line for several miles before finally puffing warily into a nice empty siding at the next stop, finally having run out of steam.
"Please, let me stop." Oh wait, I have stopped. Whew!
He wheezed thankfully. Some workmen at the station came up to him. "Never mind that, Trojan," said one of the workmen as they evaluated the damage. "You'll have a drink and some coal, and then you'll feel like a new engine." Presently, Castle arrived. Castle was carrying a winch on him, and he used that to pull Trojan out of the siding.
"Well done, Trojan, you nearly flattened my wheels,"
Castle groaned.
"Oh yeah, sorry about the obstruction,"
said Trojan. Castle then left the station and resumed his journey. Castle and Trojan made up after that instant and became good friends, but needless to say, Trojan's driver was sacked pretty quickly afterwards.